So this week we were learning some about filmmaking terms, like the film set terminology is what we were trying to learn about. Me and Priscilla ourselves, we've been busy adding everybody to the group, so we didn't have as much time as we wanted to learn it, but we're
Yeah.
gonna learn it more over the weekend, and on Monday we should know a bit better.
Oh, honey,
Yes.
before we forget, I just remembered we have to ask them about the dates and times. Remember
Oh, I was
we?
gonna do that after.
Oh, okay, because it was on the list when we read it out in the beginning. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, you're good. So I was just like, if anybody wants to go ahead and talk about maybe if you guys were able to look into it at all, if you found anything interesting that you didn't know, film set terminology that is commonly used, especially with people that have been working in the productions for a little bit, if they have any common words that maybe people just starting out wouldn't know if they went into a film set.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know any. Like, I know all the terminology. I know I have no questions about it. But an awesome book for it is A to Z film terms.
Yeah, I think this one.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
I call basically. I have my own copy, and I call it the Film Bible.
Yeah.
It's an awesome book to actually help out, to actually help people, but it's not easy to come across anymore. I've noticed. It used to be everywhere, but now it's just harder to find.
The
But
book?
that
Are you talking about the book?
Yeah, the book.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it was pretty difficult to find. I found a link on Amazon. It should be in everyone's syllabus if you guys are interested in getting it.
Someone's asking the name of it. It's A to Z film terminology?
A to Z film terms by Tim Moshinsky.
Oh, I cannot spell that, but I'll read the rest.
And you should have a link to it in the terminology film terminology syllabus.
He has a banana. It's pretty appealing. Sorry, pun guy here.
Piper said, I sadly have to go, but thanks for recording this and everything. I'm really excited to get to know all of you more.
Okay, well, no problem. We'll see you next time, Piper.
Yeah, have a good night.
I was actually curious to know how many of the film terms are actually used on set as well, because I was learning about some of them and I was wondering if some of them are just sound like they're probably not actually used.
Yeah,
Not
some are
really,
old
not a lot, really. Like maybe even like a quarter of that book is probably used.
Right. That's what I figured. I figured it probably wasn't as used as prominently as they try to make it seem.
They make it sound like there's like 100, like there's like 1,000 words used on a set, but it's like maybe about 50 words I've ever heard on a set.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's like, you give us this book and it's not used as much. But I think it's more back in the 60s or 70s.
I have to change that.
I think it's more in the 60s or 70s that those words were used more, because I noticed there's a lot of termage from.
What was that? You cut out.
Oh, I was muted for some reason. Basically, I think a lot of the words were used back in like the day, back in like the beginning of filming, more than now. A lot of people just take lazy routes now, or they just basically, a lot of the words were used for stuff back then that's not used anymore these days.
Yeah, I saw like there was a word that was talking about a projection screen going in the back while someone's pretending to drive. I was like, well, that's probably not used anymore. It's just green screen now.
It's more green screen now.
Austin asked if anyone else here had worked on a set before. Anyone else in the group?
I have.
I have as well.
Nice.
Oh, so what was your experience like when you were acting and everything? Did you see a lot of those terms? Did you hear a lot of weird words that you never heard before?
Sorry. Me?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna say names so we know who you're talking
sorry.
to.
Yeah, so if anyone says like I have, if you could just be like saying your name or say something in the chat so we know who's talking, and
yeah, in the
help
chat.
out a lot.
Last time we used the chat a lot just so that we could keep track of everyone's name. Sorry.
Apologies.
it's a lot of people were still trying to memorize everyone's names.
Oh, no
Yeah.
problem. Sorry, yeah, I'll have that open. Yeah, so
Hard for me. So.
I think the last time I've been on a full-blown set would be oh man, February of last year, like a full-blown set, and it was for a CBS show, which I think has come out. It's I don't know if I'm maybe I can talk about it or mention the title anyway. The Stand. It's a Stephen King series. I was on
I
that.
did hear that.
I'm sorry.
I think I did hear about it. Yeah, they were
Oh,
doing an
cool.
adaptation
Which
of another
one?
one of his books. I think she said The Stand or something.
Yeah, it's The
Oh, I
Stand.
have friends on there.
Do you really?
Cool, yeah.
Yes. My
Oh,
friend she's a makeup artist on there.
cool.
So good chance you could have met her.
Oh well, to be honest, I was only there for one night because I was hired as a production assistant on literally the last night of production, which was so odd. Apparently, all the production assistants got fired the night before because they were all on their phones, and so I was like,
Oh
super,
my gosh,
Oh,
terrifying.
Yeah.
wow. That is
Yeah.
Vancouver for you. That is Vancouver for you.
yeah, it really is, and I think it would be kind of like the most like real, I guess, like I've the closest I've come to like I guess like a real like full production set before, and it was really odd. Like there's so many moving parts, which is it's odd but like really cool, I guess. And it took like close to 5 hours to set up the lights, and we had to wait for like
Hours.
it was a long time.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pathetic.
Yeah, originally, my schedule was supposed to be from 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. But I guess they like finished like a couple hours early, and I got to go home at around 12. So that was nice. And yeah, coming out of like a film school, we've been like taught that there's like so many like things that they're gonna say on set. But like actually arriving to set, like almost I don't hear like any of the terms really. But one thing that I did find to be interesting and a new terminology that I've never heard of, and I was really confused. So we have like our walkie talkies, and like everyone's connected on like a channel, like depending on what department you're in. And I guess I heard somebody say, I need a spell off, and I was like, what the hell is that? Turns out that means, sorry?
Wait, you said a spell lock?
A spell off.
A spell off, I think she said.
Mhm.
Okay.
And apparently that means that you need someone to replace you at your post, I guess.
Huh.
If you needed to like go to the washroom or like grab a snack, then you
Washroom has its own code. So
Does it really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Interesting. Oh, well, that's how they did it on that particular set. And I was like, I've never heard of that word before, but
Oh,
yeah.
so barely any words that you actually did learn about or use, and instead words you never heard in your life. That's comforting.
It'd probably be like just like one or two things that were like totally new, such as that. But yeah.
Did they use the term hot brick for like a radio battery? I've heard that passed around a few times, and I'm not sure if that's actually used or not.
I have heard hot brick or like or brick.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honey, so Tommy Hill says, I worked on a set for my school since we were learning the equipment. We had used the terminology, but once you actually go out into the workforce, it's usually very rarely. Tommy, do you want to talk a little bit more about your experience? Would you be comfortable with that?
Yeah, I mean, I can. It was so I went to Piedmont College, if anybody knows where that at, here in Georgia. And so at Piedmont, we have our director. His name is DVC, Dale Van Camfort. And so he was one of the voices for the Georgia games. He's a big on-air personality. And so he decided to settle down. And so he's been teaching us how to, all the camera angles and all the different types of works and things of that nature. But he was one of those teachers that was very by the book, and so it was either his way or the highway. So I had to, yeah. So I mean, you learn pretty quickly to either get on board or get left behind.
Right.
That sounds scary. But so basically, you barely heard any of those terms. Did they use any of their own at all? Because we hear that a lot too. Like that they're
Yeah, I've heard a lot that this like individual sets will sometimes just kind of have their own words they use, like one-off productions.
It's also depends on regions too.
Yeah, we heard some different.
Like in Vancouver and Canada or somewhere over in
Canada, States have different words. Like that film book is the perfect bridge between two, but still.
Okay.
Yeah, some of the videos. Oh, sorry. We were just saying that some of the videos we sent on the playlist, we were watching them and we were like, we heard that, we know that as another thing or another thing. And they were people from the UK. So we were like, I wonder if it's different.
Like if it's used, the same words used differently or if it's just something. So yeah, okay.
Yeah. Sorry, James Lewis said there are ads for the Stand All Over NYC. So that's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. I feel like everything was released in like December, like around the 17th, but I might be wrong, but maybe I'll just like stop talking about it.
Yeah. Okay. But it is cool. Like anyone that's comfortable about talking about their experiences on a set, or because that's what we're here for, to learn from each other, to grow with each other. So if anyone would like to like just, I can go and I can talk about it, like your experience on set. If you saw that terminology, if you heard any ones that were weird and different, you were like, never heard that in film school or never heard that before. Feel free.
Like I'll talk about a couple of my experiences on sets and stuff like that and kind of funny things too. Like C47 is probably the weirdest word. I know what it means, clothespins, but I'm like, why do we use it? Why not just say clothespins?
Oh yeah, we were saying that on one of the videos we were watching. It said that, and we were just like, what's the point? Like, why not just say clothespins or
CPs?
Yeah.
James said only.
It just seems like it doesn't save any time, and it's just kind of weird.
You guys talking Spanish right now? Cause I don't know what you guys are talking about.
C47.
So in the film terminology, C47s are like the little clothespins you'd find. Like
for the gels, for the lights.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So if someone's asking you, hey, can I have a C47? They're probably asking for one of those. And if you don't know what it is, you'll just be like looking at it with a blank stare. Or just saying it's weird that they use that word instead of just saying clothes.
Sorry.
Sorry,
I heard
like a jar of them.
Whenever you guys want to talk, you can put like the little hand up. There's the animation thingy. That way we can keep track of it. And like there's a little, because you're free to talk. We're just trying to get everybody as well who wants to.
Even,
so that,
definitely.
Yeah.
Even the hundreds names of slates. Like a film slate has a million names.
Like Clapperboard.
Clapboard, sticks, slate, and I've heard some other terms for it too. What else?
James Lewis said that only the first 4 episodes have aired. I just looked it up, so be careful.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
We got you.
It's like I worked on Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaid's Tale?
Hello?
I think he was talking about he worked on Handmaid's Tale.
I think he might have froze. This video kind of.
Does anyone else have any experiences they want to share? Like, we don't want to have just, us talking here. If anyone else wants, even if it's a small thing, guys, for real. Like,
you guys have way more experience.
No, there's no more or less. Like, we're all here to grow and learn from each other.
I only did yeah, you froze, Daniel. You froze.
Oh, okay. Weird.
That's probably the Canadian connection.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
No, but
sorry.
Sorry. No, I've done little small I've done mostly like off Broadway, and I've did stuff for like schools, colleges, and stuff like that. I've never really did a major production like some of you guys have done, but I mostly do acting. I'm more into the acting. I've always been passionate about acting. But as you know, life go on and time, you've been doing it for years, you're not really breaking through. So I realized like in this stage of my life, I'm going to try to like do a little bit of everything or learn or try to even build, like you said, relationships with everyone here and maybe work on something, or maybe, you know, somebody could give me some insights on writing a short. Like that's what I want to start doing, like trying to put out some shorts so that way I can kind of put myself out there, you know, and have a good resume opposed to trying to get work where it's very hard right now. Like, you know, you guys were saying, Marina was saying it's very hard to get work. And I'm like hands-on, I'm old school a little bit. I don't do the whole the you know monologue Zoom and then send it in. I like to be there in person, and you ask me to do a read and I'll just go in there, and I'm not scared of rejection. So those days are over for me. You know, I've got rejected so many times, I don't even care. I'm just hungry to get into the business and put myself out there. And, you know, you only got one life to live, and I want to
Yeah.
give it my best and, you know, surround myself. I know a lot of you guys are going to say this too. Surround yourself with a lot of people who are trying to go in that same direction.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
that's what I want to do. So as soon as somebody tell me they're doing something that it sounds like I want to get into, I'm going forward. I'm exchange numbers, get it. And I'm
Yeah.
not waiting. I'm not gonna wait till next week to call you. I'm calling you right there on the spot. I might call you for 3-4 days straight. You're gonna be like, all right, this guy's bothering me too much, you know.
That's
That's how
No,
awesome.
hungry I
that
am.
is sometimes is what you
No.
need for real. Like we've noticed that a lot of people, unfortunately, they think that things are gonna come easy and they get really disappointed and heartbroken. Sometimes in life you need to hustle and it's not always gonna be easy, but people appreciate that. People really do appreciate how hard you work. And you know, it's gonna for the real people who see that will value you and we'll see you again. Wow, his work ethic is amazing. I want him again on any project
Right.
I have. Yeah.
Because I already took some acting classes, right? Real quick. And, you know, a couple times I was like, all right, my acting teacher, I thought she was blowing smoke up my ass. She kept saying, you should really try to go for it. And it's like, you know, now she's almost like my mentor now. And she kept nagging me, you need to get out there. You need to go, you know, because she was like, you don't want to wait too long. And then COVID happened. When I was getting ready, I had signed up for all kind of acting online, you know, the newsreel. I was setting them to go and take like 2-3 weeks to go out there to Cali to try to audition for some of the I guess they have what do you call it, like during what is it, springtime, they have the what's the term they use when they getting ready to pilot season. I
Yeah.
was getting ready to do the
yeah.
pilot season.
All the new shows
and
starting to come.
I had all that planned out, and then COVID happened. It was like, all right, but I'm still, you know, she told me, and I'm trying to do this. She said, even though you're not physically doing stuff, you can do other things. Start writing, start reading more plays, maybe, you know, network with people, try to help somebody on a script, even little things just to keep your keep yourself fresh in the game, opposed to just not doing anything. And you know, something happened, you get a audition and it's like, yo, I haven't done anything in like 6-7 months, you know, and now you're like trying to get back on that bike. Cause it's like, you know, I realized when you stop, it's almost like anything, working out, riding the bike, anything you stop and you try to get back into it after some months, you get rusty, you know?
You forget how to pedal.
Right.
Mhm.
Jack Haas asked Tommy, what genre do you like for shorts?
What genre?
What genre of shorts do you like?
I like drama, man. I'm a drama guy. I'm a drama kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I like doing drama. I like doing stories with, you know, a lot of meaning. Like I think one of the guys mentioned, I think from Georgia, he said, you know, he has a lot of life experience. I feel like I want to try to put some of my life experience to fruition. I want to make it come alive. And, you know, I would like help to make it come alive. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have a lot of stories, a lot of experiences. Like I like that. You know, I've traveled a lot. I was in the military for like 8 years. So I traveled all over the world. And so some of these experiences with different cultures and stuff like that, I wanted to come to life. So sometimes when I see some people coming with a short, I'm like, man, I went through that experience. I could have done that, you know?
Yeah, and you have
like,
property to speak on it because you have, you know, you've been there. You have more property to speak on it than those people have just like Googled it and stuff. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Like Coda always talks about that because he does not easily cry, and he says that any movie, any short, any show that can bring out that emotion in you is just, it can bring out that much emotion in us. Yeah.
It's a really well written script if he can bring out an emotion enough to make you like really feel something for the characters, even though you know it's not real.
Right.
That's the type of films I want to put out there. I want people to feel it.
Right. And I don't even care if I don't play the lead, even if I have that vision. If I feel like somebody else could relay that vision better than me, I don't mind stepping back. That's how, I just want to be part of the project. That's it.
Yeah, you just have a story to tell and you need to tell it. That's what most people, that's where the passion's at.
I had one script. I had one high profile celebrity that wanted a part of it until he got in trouble by the law. I wanted someone that had Kevin Spacey on my project.
Oh man, that'd be great. I like Kevin Spacey despite all the things. I really like him as an actor.
Like, pay it forward.
It's hard because sometimes they're good actors and like, dang it, why'd you gotta be so dumb in real life?
Have you seen Pay It Forward in real life?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, real life. Have you seen Pay It Forward?
Oh yeah, I love that movie. That's one of my favorites.
Yes.
That's
you and I need to collab.
Pay It Forward. That movie was very touching. I like now as I'm getting into acting, I start looking or more depth into it. When I look at a film, in the first couple of minutes, I can tell if it's good or not, just by the way the characters are interacting. And I don't know if it has to do with the editing job. Yeah, I don't know if it's because of the editors, because you got some editors can make you look like you're like a top-notch actor, and some editors, they can't help you. You're just a bad actor. And
oh my gosh.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes it's also the script. Like that's what one of the hardest parts of these short scripts we're going to be writing is going to be is like capturing attention of people. I feel like because you only have a little bit of time to get people's attention. Like you said, the first few minutes are the most important.
Yeah,
especially with shorts. Yeah,
when you need to like capture everybody, get them hooked, and let them watch till the end.
Right, and I'm also going to learn that you have to turn down certain scripts, just even though it's not about the money, because it's about your reputation and what you're going to put out there.
Yeah.
So if you see something that is like, and you can tell maybe a co-stars are not really into it, you don't want to be the only one trying to carry a short or carry a film.
Definitely not.
You better just walk away from it,
Yeah. Also because of the reputation of a director or something like that. Sometimes, they're really good, but you can only give them the benefit of that for so long. There are certain things really do not want to associate. Honey, what was that movie? James Lewis wants to give his experience. He was talking about it. So
go ahead. James,
speak for a little bit. What was that movie with Tom Cruise that we watched? And I think it was Jamie Foxx. And it was so crap, but it had like top grade actors. And we were like, what the heck? The one about like him, he was an assassin.
I know what movie you're talking about. I just can't think of the name myself.
Some with a C, like
Collateral? Was it Collateral?
That's Collateral.
Oh my gosh, that movie. I was like, what the heck, this movie? Like, it had such great actors, but there were some scenes that I was like, what is happening right now?
It's like, as much as I love DC, that's what DC is doing. It's like, they have good actors, but they have crap they're putting it together badly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I'm a DC fan. The flow of it was really weird.
Yeah. All right. Let's let James Lewis talk about his experience because he's been waiting for a while for a thing.
I'll talk after him.
Okay, cool. Anybody else that
James,
like seriously, guys?
If you wanted to share your experience, you can go ahead.
Yeah. Anyone else, small or big? Seriously, guys, we're here to learn from each other. There's no small parts or anything like that. We can all grow and learn from each other.
Yeah, since I froze last time, I'm like, I'll talk after him.
Yeah.
So a few weeks ago, I DP'd on someone's student film. And one thing I've never heard on any set ever before, for some reason, was referring to tripod as sticks. or putting the camera on sticks.
Classic sticks word.
Yeah, and my director would say it, and for like the first hour or so on set, I'm like, what are you saying, man? Can you just be clear?
Yeah.
Oh, he must not have liked that. There's some
Mhm.
directors that are just like,
He's just
That
like, all right, so can we put the camera on sticks? And I'm like, so wait, like us, like, okay, what do you mean by that? I have like a whole bunch of stuff. What do you want to put it on?
Yeah, right. Like, you want me to go out and find some sticks?
It's
oh my.
let's just
How
do
long
the
did it take
tripod
you
and
to?
sticks for the woods.
What was that?
what was that?
Oh, someone's in the bathroom.
Just don't turn on your camera.
Someone forgot to turn off their mic. We heard you flashing. It's okay.
I'm feeling a bit flushed.
We've all been there. Muting everything to pee real quick.
Yeah, so how long did it take you to realize like what he was meaning? Did you have to go
Yeah.
The first few shots were handheld, so it was mostly in between that we would need to do anything. So I caught on pretty quick. It just like, it took a while before we actually got to the point where we needed it. So I have my, had it all set up and ready because you just got to be ready.
Yeah.
And I just and then he's like, all right, let's put it on sticks. And I'm like, cool. What's that?
Did he tell you or did he give you one of those faces? Because oof, sometimes.
Oh, he was just like he kept on going for a while until he realized that he was genuinely confusing me. So he was just like, the tripod. Get the tripod.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
good. At least he isn't like treating you bad for it.
No. Better not have walked off set. Find another DP.
Yeah.
Paid,
You
fuck
have self-respect right there.
You're lucky that you learned that on a independent film, not a big
right,
TV
and
film.
not a big set. Yeah,
But
also,
it's
I
hard. There's
worked
so
on
many
other sets
different
and I never heard it
ways.
before, so I was. It's embarrassing to get to the point where you're DPing on someone's set. You don't know what they mean by sticks,
Right.
but you learn.
There's
Very
so
good.
many of them though. There's so
Trial by
many
fire.
words. It's so hard. But what was your experience overall? Like, what did you think of it? Was it what you expected it would be? Was anything in general different?
Boy, do I have opinions. The guy, he, for all his passion, I
You
guess.
moved your camera.
So maybe I'm just like, maybe it's because I also write and direct. So maybe I just have opinions on what really films should be focusing on. But for me, sound is really important for a movie. Meanwhile, this guy doesn't hire a sound guy.
What?
Yes. He doesn't hire a sound guy. He says, "Oh, I have a microphone that's mounted on your camera." I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to look. You know what? It's okay because he learned. He was young. He's younger than me. I knew he was going to learn his lesson, even if it was the hard way. He learned it because he had to hire the sound guy I knew and pay him like $500 just to fix the audio.
Wow.
Plus, you never want to be that guy on someone else's movie that's like, you're doing it wrong, dude. Like,
Yeah. I also like, and at the same time, his mic wasn't that great, so I had to bring in my own audio gear and kind of sort of fiddle with it to try to get it right. But in the end, I realized I'm like, I need to be lighting this scene. Like, this dude's gonna have to just be happy with in-camera audio.
Right.
oh my! How did you even get your own mic in there? Like, did he not notice? Was he like, did you were like, it could help bringing my stuff if you want?
Right. He asked for a gear list, and I just happened to have sound. I have some sound gear, so I told him what I had, and he was like, "Oh yeah, bring that along too." And that's how I found out when I walked on set. And he's like, "All right, so just click the microphone on the thing." And I'm like, "Oh, there's no sound guy. Okay, cool."
You sound very talented.
Nice. No, he's a kid. He's gonna.
Yeah. It's always hard.
He learned the hard way.
You look
I try to do my best with the visuals because that's like your job as a DP. But at the same time, I'm like, do I say something or do I just like
Yeah, it's always
say
hard to
something.
gripe on new creators because you don't want to bring them down and you don't want to be like acting like a douche and be like, oh, I know better or whatever.
I'm old
But-
school. Tough love. You gotta bring him down.
So you tell him right straight up.
Right. No, because at the same time, I'm like, I don't, there's no work around. I kind of need the contact. Let's not make him hate me just
Yeah.
yet.
I see.
Sometimes you gotta bite the bullet. Just
Essentially,
yeah.
yeah. But overall, it was a pretty good time. I'd never DP'd on anyone else's stuff because no one really likes to look at some guys like, oh, I made my own movies, but they're like, okay, cool.
Which is DP for me.
oh, we're already building some connections over here. I'll go to you, you go to him, we figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone wants to hire me, look, I'll show you what I've got. It's all in post-production still, but like, I'll show you what I got. Just
guys.
I need
actually,
a job.
I was wanting to like see everybody's stuff more. With
the WhatsApp group, we thought people would be posting like, here's what I've been working on. Yeah.
Yeah. Although I do feel like as artists, we're all like collectively kind of embarrassed of the stuff that we make.
Yeah,
well, the first stuff's always going to be crap.
That definitely.
Yeah, but like our first stuff is always going to be crap. Like Coda went to me in the beginning of this thing and he was like, honey, we're going to study like screenwriting. And I was like, honey, I'm even ashamed of journaling sometimes because I write so badly. Like I'm so crap at it. And like sometimes I get the journal and I'm like, it's going to sound like crap. I'm going to read it back and be like, wow, I'm terrible. And he wants me to write a screenplay. And he was like, come on, honey, we can do it. And I'm like, and I'm going to have to share it with people and they're going to read it. Hell no. But
it's like a strange, painful, excruciating practice in vulnerability. It's
like, hey, will you judge me? Please be nice.
Yeah, it's definitely
nice
scary. Like
please.
You have, especially when you're first starting out, it's just like, especially just like posting anything. Like that's why I like groups like this, like that. People know we're probably not gonna have like the best of the best. We're gonna have small.
I didn't say that. We are the best of the best.
But for people that don't know it, they're just
Don't
like,
you
I like
say
the
that.
way he rolls.
you don't know how to you don't know how to film right because you guys have this crappy, there's grain in the background or something like that. Or your script is written crap. And it's just like, especially like an online community like YouTube or something, you definitely get stuff like that posting.
But
Austin said, I would say, okay, judge me realistically, but don't be a dick about it. Exactly.
I agree.
It's a constructive criticism all the way, but you don't have to, there's some things that are unnecessary. Like me and Coda were watching the videos from the guys. Sorry if I'm rambling, guys. You can tell me to shut up at any time because y'all know much more than I do ever. But we were watching the videos of the terminology, and I was like, I was commenting on something. He was like, you should say that in the group. And I was like, I don't want to be mean. They're like independent creators and all that. And, they're doing their own thing. And I got to admire the hustle. But they were basically explaining the terminology and the letters they were using were really bad. And I was like, I can't read it. Like, it looks cool. But if you're trying to teach me something, how am I going to learn if the letters are weird? Like, your production's all off, dude. You want to look cool. But if it's a like learning thing, it's just not gonna no. And I was like, I wonder if anyone else is going through this, like watching the syllabus and trying to learn these words, and these words are written weird and annoying and just so they look cool in production. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to be mean. The video is good. It's a little like they're trying to be flashier than they need to be, but it's good.
Yeah, they were using some kind of font that had like the E's where it didn't have the line at the beginning. It just had like the 3 lines for the E.
And the N looked like a V.
She's visually impaired, so she was just like, what does this even say?
Yeah, I'm visually impaired, so I was like, well, I can't even read it. And the beginning where they blink the lights, and I'm like, can you read that? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, I can't. And we have a 64-inch. What the heck? I can't even see it on that. But because they want their video to look cool and they want people to watch it, and I understand that and I respect that. Just if you're doing something informative and trying to help people, make it a little more, easy to read, maybe.
Okay, so I'll tell you a little bit experience of like from the good to the bad to the worst.
Mm-hmm.
When I worked on Handsman and Tail, they were getting people to do a couple different things. And they asked me, I was like, "Oh, could you pass the Blackboard? What's a Blackboard? What? The Blackboard." They're just keep on pointing. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" They were talking about the Slate the whole time.
And they call it the Blackboard.
Blackboard.
Yeah,
I never heard of that.
And I'm like, no one calls it a Blackboard. It's like, "Oh, we call it that in England." I'm like, "Okay, we're in Canada. I call it by sticks or call it by something I know."
I've never heard sticks either. You guys call it sticks in Canada?
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that's even more.
Okay.
But that, and then on that same set, like they weren't paying attention, and none of the crew, and I was one of the extras, and I actually got sacked on set.
What do you
You got
mean? What does that
robbed?
mean?
No, the main actress put a suitcase in front of me when I was walking,
Oh. So
and
you
I
took
flew
that?
over the suitcase.
Dang, they're mean.
And no one went to check if I'm okay or anything.
No one cares about the extras.
And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm gonna keep on walking. I
Right.
want to find that blooper reel. I seriously do.
Oh my gosh.
But
Yeah.
that's just the bad. But the worst I've been on is I worked on a show back in Vancouver, and it was called, what was it? Black Circle or something. It was a Warner Brother film project.
Mhm.
For 10 hours, I sat in a chair and did nothing.
They had you waiting for the scene.
No, they had too many PAs on set.
Oh. So
They had
it's
like
sit
30
down.
they had like 30 PAs, 10 construction, and I'm like, "Can I go do something?" No. "Can I go do something?" No. Every hour I would get up and everyone else is playing on their phones and just doing nothing. I'm like, "Can you please just give me something to do?"
Right.
And
Rena work that wouldn't have gone well. Apparently everyone got fired.
by the 10th hour, I went up and I'm like, "Since I'm not doing anything and no one else is doing anything, could you please just send me home?"
They said no.
Well, I'll talk to the director. They sent me home, went to call the next day to go in. Apparently, I got blacklisted from Warner Brothers for doing that.
Mm.
I've
So
also broke my ribs on a set.
What? How?
Yeah. I fell through a floor in front of me, hit my ribs with the board in front of me, went to an abandoned barn, and we had no insurance on the set.
What?
Isn't that illegal?
No, because it
Sue
was
them for workplace injury, Austin said.
that doesn't always
For
work.
real.
Huh.
Like what the heck? Was your contract bad or something? Like how
I was a
would they get
volunteer
sued?
set,
You were volunteering.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
and
holy crap.
and the next 3 days after that, I was actually paralyzed for 3 days.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
I couldn't move. I was stuck. I got up and I'm like, "I'm ready for work," and I couldn't. I fell back to my bed. And I couldn't move for 3 days.
How is a production that large allowed to have volunteer sets though, without like the fear of like legal ramifications at all? Because I'm sure some people try to sue, even if it is a volunteer thing.
No,
There are basic there are basic safety guidelines that should be followed on every set, right?
no,
Protocol and
not
stuff
on
like that?
volunteer. Not on volunteer.
So volunteer, just get whatever comes, I guess.
That's why. That's one thing I'll say to you, Vancouver girl. Do not
Yeah.
volunteer. Vancouver's known for a lot of volunteering in film.
Yeah. I've
Don't-
heard a
Don't
lot
let
of
them
horror
take advantage of you.
Okay.
That's what they
Man.
did to me for 5 years.
Austin said, well, it's a large production. It probably has less to lose, maybe. I mean, they can shut them up quicker, I guess, easier.
Like the thing is, I brought it to a lawyer and like can't really do anything because you can't prove anything happened because that footage apparently got scrapped. Pardon me.
Yeah. So there's no
Someone,
proof.
Jack asked, how did you come back to mobility? Like, was it just out of nowhere? Were you like
Just out of 3 days, after 3 days, my body just started to relax. Apparently, it was out as stun. It was like a stun paralyzed, and then basically, I had to go to the hospital because of my broken ribs.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly, Jack.
Yeah, with temporary paralysis. Oh.
Yeah.
And it just like it was scary. I couldn't move. I have been blind. I've been basically paralyzed, broken ribs. I've been
Thank
through
God
a
for
lot.
Canadian healthcare, huh?
Oh, like stunt man.
not-
You thought you wasn't doing
and-
stunt work?
And I've
Right?
also had my head hit in by a baseball bat and lost my memory.
What?
What?
Gosh.
Yeah.
We need to
Canadian
write some
healthcare is
stories
bull
about
crap.
you.
Sorry?
We need to write some stories about you. We could do a show.
Everyone says that. Everyone says I should write a life story about myself. The guy that never dies.
Yeah, or like a web
I've been
series.
through
I
it
could
all.
see that
That
totally as a
always
web
gets in
series.
trouble if it never dies.
Oh my
Basically,
gosh.
Wow.
I'm the super villain that never dies.
You're like Wile E. Coyote at this point.
Pretty much.
Oh my. Is there
But
anyone
yeah,
else that would like to talk about their experiences on a film or working on a set or
Or script, writing a
or
script. and
script?
selling
Yeah,
it, or
writing a script
attempting
as
to sell
well.
it, or-
and if
Well,
there is
me,
anyone that
Austin said me. Like, I'm pretty sure Austin's been commenting for a while, so he probably has something to say.
You want to go ahead? You can go ahead and yeah, it's fine if it's not big or anything.
But it's not really a big sort of, oh, of course, it's fine, dude. Seriously.
Okay.
I'm sure there's something we can learn from you.
Can anyone hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
I participated in many like student filming and all that stuff since high school. Well, not since high school. Probably the earliest I've done was 8th grade, where I just get a couple friends together or cousins, and we just film things together. It's nothing really official with experience or jobs like professional sets, workplace, volunteering, or anything. It's more of a get together thing, and the best we got is a camera, sometimes even a phone, even. And we get a group together and we started recording films that whatever came up to our mind.
Mhm.
I remember this film. It's kind of embarrassing to talk about that I did. It's like, oh, this is really unprofessional, but it's something I did from my Comtech class. Has anyone heard of that term, Comtech? Like,
No, what is that?
I think you work with technology or media or something,
Okay.
like cameras or Photoshop. You kind of like learn how to film, how to Photoshop anything on the computer with media, all that fancy stuff. I did this. I think we kind of had like some set. We didn't really have a set. We kind of like went to some place and get equipment. We have this list where we get like props, costumes, and stuff. The thing is, we came up with the list, the picture panel, whatever it's called, the storyboard. That's what it's called, storyboard.
Yeah.
And the funny thing, no one really got the costumes or the props. We just came in empty-handed. So the actor for Bigfoot just came up, just put on his hoodie and pretended like he's like some sort of monster. And it is ridiculous. It looked ridiculous and it was funny. My editing still kind of saved it, despite how mediocre it probably was. And it still ended up being comedic. Yeah. What else? Oh yeah. Then my next filming experience happened in college, right? My course, Media Fundamentals, which was in my for a photo class or a camera class or something, we kind of had to like get together a group and come up with this chase sequence or something like this, where this person moves from A to B, but the B point ends in the college campus. So we have to like get film permissions and all that stuff. Actors, what do you think?
Location.
Yeah, locations, filming locations, and we're provided cameras and all that stuff. So that the professional part is handed down and everything.
Mhm.
I didn't really do much in the group other than edit the video myself and put in the music and all that stuff, which was the only part I'm good at. Well, I can't do special effects or any of that cool stuff, but I still managed to put the video together, and it turned out way better than my Comtech projects or any other film I've ever worked on, probably because of the camera quality and the directing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
my.
That
Oh,
helps.
sorry. Go ahead.
It's fine.
I was just gonna say, it seems like every moving piece needs to work in harmony for things to work out.
Like,
That
there's
one
like-
worked in
I've always
complete
heard there's
harmony.
like 3 films that are made: the one that's written, the one that's filmed, and then the one that's edited.
Mm.
I always feel like, you know, people should know their weaknesses and strength and don't try to, you know, push themselves too much. So if you know you're okay editor, don't be, you know, trying to take on a big project and try to edit something that, you know, without any proper help. I always believe in that. Know you.
So, honey, Earl, B. Riddle, and Miriam, they said they have to go. They have early mornings, but they'll finish watching the rest of the video later.
Okay. Well, bye guys. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
Thanks. And anybody that feels comfortable, like, you guys can talk in the chat, because I know that some people may try to talk because there are a lot of voices. You can like put the little hands up emoji or in the chat. We don't want to block anybody out. Anyone that feels free and wants to talk can talk. Sorry if we're, you know, making you guys intimidated or like feel like you guys can't talk. We just want to make sure everyone has a voice. Just making sure everyone's okay.
No, yeah. So if anybody wants to go ahead, or we can move on and we'll start talking about the next week's, like the stuff we're going to be studying over next week, which will start the screenwriting and the production. But if anyone else wants to go ahead with their experiences, they can. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and move on. So
It's not anything to the people that were talking. Please don't get me wrong. It's just because there are a lot of people here and I just want to make sure everyone's being heard. So we love hearing from you guys. That's not it. It's just I want to make sure no one feels like they can't speak, you know, since there are a lot of people.
This is Letty, and if it's okay, I'll share real quick. Before we move on, it's been really fascinating listening to everyone's experiences. It's nice to hear everyone come from like a diverse, versatile background. So that's awesome. So I was just gonna say, I've done very nothing that I've done has been really hands-on on a set, but I mean, that's the goal one day. But because my ultimate goal, I really want to delve or dive right into screenwriting and script writing. I took a jab at it a couple times, but I didn't realize there's so much like that goes into it, and so there's so many moving parts. But I volunteered at the New York International Film Festival 2 years ago, 2019, and it was so interesting seeing, like, you know, because I was a greeter, so everyone who was coming to showcase their film, you know, you just welcome them graciously. And then when everyone went upstairs, there was like a nice little open bar and a cocktail party. And it was really sweet because they had like a, you know, the movie room where everyone's trailer would play, and then you'd have people come out and some would be in tears. So it's a beautiful thing because you see just how much film inspires, and it just brings out so many emotions. But other than that, I did a stint when I was 6 years old on Good Morning America. They had me do a cooking, what do they call it when it's just not a short, but like a
Segment?
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. A cooking segment.
Oh.
And they asked, it was like for fried chicken. So that was a quick, you know, short-lived on-camera experience. But it is very interesting, and I would love to learn. I want to be like a sponge, you know?
just absorb everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, and Brent's asking where you're from, Letty.
I'm from New York.
New York, right?
Yeah, New York. Not the suburbs, like the nitty-gritty Big Apple, city that don't sleep, all that.
Couldn't you tell from the accent?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you have that.
I don't drink no coffee, but I'm from New York.
Oh my goodness, what is it with people and not liking? So weird to find people that don't like coffee.
I don't like coffee.
Oh my gosh. But you don't like anything, honey. You don't like anything.
But I have the record in coffee that no one can beat.
Of drink, how much you drink, or what do you mean?
How many I drank in one day? 37 cups of coffee in one day.
How did you not get an overdose? You can have a caffeine overdose, you know.
I did.
Oh, wow.
It depends on the size
I
of the
couldn't
cup.
sleep for like 2 weeks straight.
Yeah.
Hashtag set life.
And everywhere I went,
Yeah,
everyone offered me coffee.
Wow. And you just accept it every time.
I'm like, I was just being the generous Canadian, saying, sure, yes, being the nice guy.
Oh my.
Wow.
Like I would act like large as 3, and I would act medium as 2.
Oh my.
And one thing I realize is Canadians' coffees are bigger than Americans.
Oh, Lorena has a funny / maybe set caffeine story.
You can go ahead then.
Go ahead, Lorena.
All right. Hey guys.
I'm kind of worried.
Oh my gosh. When you mentioned coffee, like I just got flashbacks. Like all of a sudden all these memories came back to me. So when I was still in film school, we had this crazy month where everybody had to take part and do a role on a set, and we would have 2 filming what would you call it, sessions in one day. So I would be at school for like basically a whole day and more. And there was a David's tea close by, and I quickly became like a tea addict. I don't know if that's like a weird thing, but matcha was like what was keeping me like awake. Like I was so dependent on matcha for a while. Like maybe it's stronger in caffeine, I don't know. And so I was there a lot. That the David's tea staff like knew me by name. They knew my usual, and like I could just like pop in and like say like I'll have what I had yesterday, and they would
wow. And they know your face from hundreds of other people.
That's
how you know.
Drink named after you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get to that point yet. Oh man. Yeah, I was like a broke student because I would buy so much tea. But there's this one day where I had the role of script supervisor, which probably one of my favorite like on-set things to do. I love script supervision and like keeping continuity and stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love script supervision. So I knew that was I knew that was going to be my next role that I had to do. So I quickly went to David's Tea and I was like, I want like strongest matcha you have. And I also want a matcha shot because I was so tired. I was on probably 2 or 3 hours of sleep. And so I downed that, went back to set, and I don't even know what happened. I was sitting at a desk and I put my head in my hand for like literally 2 seconds. And like next thing I knew, someone was tapping me and like was like, hey, do you want coffee? Like, do you want, like you were sleeping. And I don't know, it was just such a weird moment for me. I've never fallen asleep on set before. And that was like,
it was supposed to keep you awake and you passed out.
Yeah, I just passed out from all the caffeine.
Good thing your boss didn't notice.
Yeah, I mean, luckily it was just like a whole bunch of student films, but yeah, someone was like offering me coffee and like prodding me with like a stick, like, hey, you don't fall asleep. Yeah.
Eventually your body's just like, we're used to this. We can now you need to give us something stronger. Honey, speaking of, before we continue, you have a set story. You don't want to tell them about that time?
Oh, like when I was a production assistant on a show that I don't think was released in America, but it's called Dystopia. And I was living in Williamsburg, Virginia, and the thing was taking place in Virginia Beach, which is like an hour 40, but because of all the traffic going to the beach, it was more like 2.5 hours. And so every day I was like driving there after work, and I was telling them like my days that I could come and days I couldn't, and I was just being a volunteer.
And you were in school, weren't you, back then?
Huh?
And you were in school too, weren't you, back then? Yeah,
I was in school, I was doing that, and I was working. And so I was like, I can only come in, 3 days a week, but I just want to be here to learn as much as I can. And so they were like, okay, and they had me on, and I didn't really know what I was doing. So one of the days I'd show up, I was wearing like a red shirt, I think. And the lady was all like, "What are you doing on my set wearing that red shirt? You know, you have to be crew, and crew has to wear black shirts and all this. And if I ever see you in a different shirt other than black again, you're gonna get kicked out." I was just like, "Oh dang, is this how it always is, or is this how everyone is on a set? Because I don't like that."
Yeah, bright colors are not your friends on sets.
What's that?
Fluorescent or bright colors are not your friends on sets.
I learned that quickly, yeah. I learned black shirts are what you should be wearing. So, but I got in there because of a producer I knew that works around the Virginia area, and he actually got pissed off at her for yelling at me because he was like, "That guy's going all the way from an hour and a half to be here, and he's volunteering while everyone else is getting paid. So you get off his back and don't tell him what to do." And I was just
You
like,
had someone to defend you. Not everyone does.
yeah, it's cool when you have like some people that back you up, and when some people get like that. And I realize that not everyone is, as cruel as that. And some people will take it easy and just be like, "Hey, you
If
might
you're
not want
gonna
to
wear
wear
a bright color, get a sweatshirt that's a dark color.
Yeah, that way you can put it over the shirt just in
Yeah.
case." And yeah, it was a really interesting experience to be around all the people in like the art department. And I was a production assistant, so they were just throwing me everywhere and just being like, "Hey, we need you to hold this sound, the boom pole." And I was like, "Okay, how do you want me to do that?" And they're like, "Oh, just do it like this," and showing me what to do. And the other person's like, "Hey, I need you to help me cut this piece of foam because we're gonna make it into a piece of wall art." And it's just like, "Oh, all right, I guess I'm doing that now." And, "Hey, I need you to do this. I need you to slate. I need you to do that." And I was just being thrown all over the place because it's more of an independent production. But it was a really interesting, cool experience, and I was really glad to be a part of it. And yeah, so that's that. And then I had another one that I was going to get paid to be there, and I was working overnights at the time. So I said, "Yeah, I can come in tomorrow morning right after work because I get off at 7 a.m." And they were like, "Okay, yeah, sure thing." And it was like 2 or 3 hours away from me. So I was staying with my sister who lived in the area. And I drove down there and I contacted the person and I didn't get any response. And I like contacted and contacted and contacted and nothing. And then like 3 or 4 days later, he was like, "Hey, we have too many production assistants," like you were talking about, Daniel. And he was just like, "So, we don't even need you." And I was just like, wow, because I almost quit my job to be down there. And I was just surprised that they just sometimes don't even contact the people that are trying to get on set. Like you knew I was coming and everything. So I was just kind of like, wow, that sucks that, you know, that they don't inform you even. Like you could have, if you would have told me earlier, it would have been fine. But it was just like an annoying experience for that as well.
Can I say two stories from my two experiences?
Yeah, sure.
I worked on Riverdale on the pilot for it, and we had a gawker, a guy that would stare off into scenes, and this guy was getting married the next week, and he was watching the blocking of Betty and Veronica making out.
What a perv.
Yeah, like we're trying to move the dolly tracks, and I basically, he wasn't paying attention. He lifts it up, and he's still watching them as he turns it and smacks me in the back of the head with the dolly track.
So he's obsessed.
Like he's just not paying attention.
How did a set that big not see someone like that and just like kick him out? That's what I don't get.
He was partly putting money into this.
Okay.
Oh,
He
so
was
just one of those pervy producers and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just like another thing is like we had like we also had one fight on set because it was kind of just like one actor yelling at me because I picked up his cell phone from the ground from almost getting squashed.
And so he yelled at you like you were taking it?
And that's when I worked on Smallville. And I picked up Tom Welling's cell phone and he didn't like that. And my other thing is Kristen Stewart loves puns.
Loves what?
Puns.
Puns. Oh, okay.
I worked on Twilight, and I ended up sleeping beside her because we worked on 48 hours straight of Twilight.
Mhm.
And she grabbed me from my hood and it's like, "You're coming with me, punny guy." I'm like, "Who's pulling me?" Look, her. And I had Robert Pattinson basically smack the truck to wake me up, and I didn't realize I was sleeping.
Wow, you've been a lot on a lot of things.
Yeah, I've been working for like 10 years, so.
Yeah, nice.
And so technically, I've had Batman and Superman both mad at me at one point.
You kind of remind me of Pat Oswalt a little bit.
Who?
Oh my gosh, that's what it is. I was like, he looks familiar. It reminds me of somebody, Patton Oswalt. Oh my gosh.
And
that is not a bad thing, by the way. Like, I love him. So
someone send me a
he's
link to
awesome.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Patton Oswalt is?
No.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll send you.
I also worked on what's it called? Designated Survivor.
The reality show?
Yep. With what's his name? Keith Sutherland.
Okay.
I was on the episode that some people actually died in real life from.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Because they were getting us to wear winter gear during summer.
So everyone's overheating.
Heat stroke, yeah. And I was so close. And I almost fell over. And then I'm like, I was trying to find water or something on set. Couldn't find anything. And then all of a sudden I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm like, "Hey," I turn around and it's Keith Sutherland. I'm like, "Hi." I did not expect that. I'm like, and he got me a pop from his personal cooler and gave it to me. But everyone else, like, there was people passing out, and they finally solved the solution too late already after we brought people to the hospital. But always one thing I'll say about sets is always have pack of water on you, pack a water bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, honey, what was next on the Slate thing?
Oh yeah. So is everybody done talking about experiences and everything?
I'm done like Daniel Dunn.
All right. So on the Facebook group, we had what we were voting for was the times and days to do the meetings, and everybody was saying for the times, everyone said probably around 9 or 10 Eastern time would work best. And so we'll probably be doing the meetings from that time. Like today we did 10, and we'll do next week probably around 9 p.m. each time.
Thursdays?
But people voted a little bit less on the days, so we were going to go ahead and take a vote now in the chat. I'm just going to say like Monday through Thursday are the days we have off, so that's the days it's going to work. And we'll say like, does Monday work? And then everybody can vote yes or no. And then we'll actually just vote yes, so I can count how many there are. And then we'll say Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And if all the days work for you guys, that's good. If just one or two of them work, just, answer and let us know so we can get a tally of how many people can be in each day. And then we'll pick whatever the majority works best for the majority.
It is COVID, so I'm pretty sure everyone's schedule's open right now.
Most people, yeah. There are a few people that have said like they're in the military or something, and they're right now with the riots. There's like 2 or 3 people saying that, and so it's just like there's some people have some pretty hectic things going on right now. But
yeah, and a lot of people acting or directing or whatever isn't their main job, so we want to make sure that everyone has stability even after when they do start getting work, that they still can come to the meetings and everything. So
yeah. Okay, so does Monday?
At least you guys are gonna be recording it, so even though some of the people can't make the meetings, they go look at it.
Yeah,
exactly. That's why we're recording it, just in case, so everyone who wants to be a part but can't make it can still watch it and be a part of it.
Yeah, but also like we want to be able to have you guys talk and connect and like share experiences. So we want to make it as accessible as possible to everyone.
Any day works for me, so as long as I know ahead of time.
Okay, so Coda said Monday works for, and then people who you say yes or no. And I'm gonna
No,
talk.
don't say no. Just say if it works for you. Say
Oh, yeah, just
That
say
one will
yes.
be
Sorry.
For me, it's whatever the final vote is my choice.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let me get the pen. So just say yes if Monday works for you, and no, and just leave it if it doesn't, and then he'll just keep going with the days, and I'll tally them up. Okay. It's just because in the Facebook group there aren't as many people who voted, and we want to make sure we find a time that works for everyone, a day that works for everyone. Oh, that's 1 for Monday. Anyone else? Let me see. For Monday. Oh, there we go. For some reason my thing was yes. Yes, that's 3 yeses. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's 10 yeses.
So that's 10 yeses for that.
I think I'm just recounting to be sure.
All right, I'm gonna say Tuesday. Does Tuesday work? And everybody can respond yes if it does for you.
1, okay. Anyone else Tuesday? Okay, 2.
There's more than 2.
3. Mine is being weird for some reason. Like I'm just like 7. Okay, 7 so far.
8.
Yeah, mine's for some reason like being slower, taking a while to load.
Weird because we're on the same internet. So I don't know why that's
right.
I'm seeing 8 counted already.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So 8 for Tuesday. Okay, and then we'll say.
All right. Monday has more. So far.
But does Wednesday work for anybody?
8 for Tuesday. Okay, 3 people so far. 4. Wednesday works for 4 people so far.
And Brett, I wouldn't mind seeing some of your work.
And some of the work is old that I have. The only new stuff I have that I'm trying to do right now. So that's my network. But I can show you some of the stuff I have. You know, it's mostly college. But remember, I did a lot of Broadway shows. So back
No,
then.
I mean like writing wise.
Oh, writing? Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely.
You should look up Slate Media or Daniel Dunn.
I already wrote it down.
Sarah said my schedule always changes, so I will see what I can do. So we'll counter, like, should we counter as a yes or should we just?
No, I mean, it's fine if you can't make it to the actual meetings, because like we said, we're going to be recording them. So we're just getting a tally on everybody.
Try to do like 2 days a week or something for like, if you can, if that is.
Yeah, we're doing two different meetings per week, and it'll probably be like either Monday, Wednesday, or Monday, Thursday, or whatever works.
Or just go like Sunday and then.
So far Wednesday's 7 as well.
No, Wednesday only has
because I don't know if the girl said
6. Wednesday has 6.
I don't know if Tommy said ditto because of the schedule changing or probably because of the schedule changing. Okay, so it's 6.
Now Thursday.
Which preferably would be Monday to Thursday because it would be able to give everyone, enough time to study and learn whatever they want and everything. But whatever works best for everyone, that's our main goal. My goodness. Today's 1, 2, 3, 4.
I hear that Spanish.
It's Portuguese.
Oh, it sounds like Spanish.
I agree.
Shut up.
Don't get mad about it though if you say that.
I know a little bit of Spanish myself, so.
Yeah. All I know is donde eres.
I dated a Peruvian girl for a bit, so.
I feel like Ghana have done everything.
Letty said, sorry guys, I'm exhausted, but this has been Great. Thursday works well for me. Okay.
All right, you too.
Goodbye, Letty. Have a good night. Thank you for sharing and thank you for coming.
I don't even know how this program works.
Okay, one more. Ooh, Thursday has a lot from the looks of it. So I think Monday and Thursday might be it. Huh?
Maybe, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think 7 said Monday. No, wait, was it 8 said Monday?
10 said Monday, huh?
Oh, okay.
10 said Monday, 8 said Tuesday, 6 said Wednesday, and so far I've got like 9 for Thursday. Let me recount it. By my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14.
She's from Brazil. Jack's asking where you're from.
Hey, Daniel, you said it's Slated Media, right?
Slate it media, like a film slate.
Okay.
It IT media.
His contact is in the WhatsApp. If you want to look for his number there, his WhatsApp is there.
Awesome.
Okay, thanks. Awesome.
I don't even know how WhatsApp works anymore, or the Zoom thing. I kind of.
Oh, we got like 17 for Thursday. Holy cow!
What? No, we don't.
Or am I Brazil or Europe? Oh, Brazil. I don't speak Portuguese from Portugal. Their Portuguese is prettier. Well, depends on who you ask, actually. Their music is sadder. Our food is better. So there's that.
Making me want Portuguese food.
Brazilian food and Portuguese food are very different.
Hey, Daniel.
Brazilian food is amazing and beautiful.
On Facebook?
Someone's head's bleeding.
Oh, sorry. What was who?
I want Portuguese chicken now.
What happened to you, buddy?
Man, for our birthday, for my birthday, I was gonna go to a Brazilian churrascaria. I'm dying over here, but I don't think it's gonna be able to work.
Hey Daniel, is your thing Slated Media on Facebook? Do you guys have a website or?
Yeah, it's on there. I have a website. I am on Facebook. I'm on Instagram.
Cool.
Okay.
That's a lot of blood, bud. I
Yeah,
think you need a
Coda
Band-Aid
hates
on that
it.
head of yours.
What?
Coda hates it when I just randomly speak in Portuguese. My mind works differently sometimes. Okay, I don't do it on purpose.
I'm just like, I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But
or when
okay,
he
so
makes
guys,
me butcher a word in my own language just because it's like, oh, that's not how you say. I'm like, this is how you say it in Portuguese, the word that it's meant for. So I'm gonna say it in Portuguese. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so guys, next week, and also like this week, we'll be studying more about the film terminology. If you guys want to do that, we'll talk a little bit more about that Monday. Monday will be one of the days, right? Monday at 9 p.m.
Yeah, Monday. Honey, I feel like Monday and Thursday, like Thursday is a landslide. Most people can do Thursday awesome, and Monday has like 10 people as well. So I feel like Monday and Thursday will probably be the best days.
The meetings will be Mondays and Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern. That works for everybody? Okay,
And
cool.
also, guys, like we were talking about, the WhatsApp is there for that. You guys can send your Instagrams, your Facebooks, your IMDb's, the stuff you've worked on. If you want people to just share it, follow you on Instagram to support your company or just you personally, that's completely fine. We're here to support each other and to bring each other up and to help each other, you know? So don't be shy. I know it's hard. Trust me. But, you know, we all got to get ourselves out there, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Mine is
Okay, so next week we'll be studying in the syllabuses. In the screenwriting one, we're going to be doing the do's and don'ts, like what to do in a screenplay and what not to do, just so we get that out of the way. Format and structure is going to be the first thing after that, and we'll be learning like how to format it and what should be where, and so that when we're writing our screenplays, we will be writing them correctly. And I use Caltex to write my screenplays. It's a free software, but you guys can use anything else you want. I just know Caltex kind of separates it already so that it's all in order of how it should be.
I need to download that.
James, can you
Yeah, you
share
can get
your
it on your phone too. It's
Instagram?
like a really good app.
Sorry, James, can you share your Instagram on the WhatsApp group? Because when we close, these messages are going to
Just
be
write
gone,
down
I'm pretty
what
sure.
they said.
And Priscilla,
Yeah?
I like telling you I was made up my own pop figure of myself. This is my
Oh,
prop.
yeah. Oh, that's so cute.
That is so dope.
Oh, that is cool. Yeah.
So sick.
It actually has my production name, my crew on it.
That's
That's
awesome,
so
dude.
fucking sick.
Make me
Sorry, my language.
Nice.
It's fine. We all have our moments.
And then in the production syllabus, we're going to be learning line of authority so we can know who does what on a film set and who answers to who. And then we're just finishing up in film set terminology. One of the things I wanted to ask you guys next Monday will be our next meeting. And in that one, we're going to read a script together to kind of see how a professional script is written and what it should contain and what it should leave out. And I know it's not a set in stone exactly, but I wanted to see if anyone has any examples they might want to read. It needs to be available online for free so that we can all access it. But if anyone has an idea or wants a certain script that they know is online, go ahead and let us know and we'll look
Yeah,
into
through the WhatsApp if you can, like send like, hey guys, what about this script? What do you think? And like he said, it has, sorry honey, I didn't mean to cut you.
Oh, you're good, yeah.
It's just because you asked me to complete just in case you forget anything.
Mhm.
He said it must be free and available to read online and preferably a indie production.
Like
but
a
a larger indie production if possible, you know.
that way it's more professionalized, but that it's still indie.
I'm like,
Because
Also for those, for a lot of people, Celtex has moved over to cloud right now, and I used to be able to find an old version of the desktop version, but now I can't find it, so I've switched over to Trelby, which actually lets you import your Celtex files and turn them into Trelby files if you ever want to switch over to something that's actually like desktop based that doesn't require the internet to use. Check out Trelby.
Can you write it on the WhatsApp so we can write it down?
I was just trying to let everyone know the last, I think I only have one more thing to mention.
Sorry about that, honey. I kind of cut you off track.
In a future
injury.
meeting, we were wanting to watch 2 films to get an idea of how we should write our own. Like one was going to be for, what was it going to be for? One is for the dialogue and the concept itself. I mean, dialogue and characters, and the other one's for the concept, whether they executed it well or not. And so if anyone has any ideas of any films, preferably indie films that we could watch later on as a group, and also any ideas of how we could watch it, like whether we want to try doing it through Zoom, or I know Amazon has like a watch party, or if we just want to watch it separately and come together and discuss it later.
That's kind of fun, actually.
Yeah, like I feel like that would help out a lot, especially if we watch an indie one, just to see like how they did it and how they pulled it off.
You got
And Amazon has a lot of independent films as well on there, so we can like maybe use their function.
But all right, I think that's everything I wanted to cover in this. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording. We can keep the meeting going if we want, but I'm just gonna stop the recording so it doesn't just keep going forever.